Good day, everybody, and welcome to today's stream. We are back on our tour of Scotland. We've just got 3 legs to go, including this one, so we'll be wrapping up this tour mid-January. And then we're going to carry on right into our tour of England, where we'll be flying down south for a while. So thank you for joining us. I see Nick, Kevin, and the Gigliottis in the chat. Welcome. Today we're flying the Beech 18, which we see in front of us, and I think Kevin's here in his DC-3. Let's hop on board. There's Kevin over there in the DC-3, and I believe that's Nick in the other Loganair Beech 18. So we have set the time to 11 a.m. To give us some nice daylight hours here up in the north. And we are on the few clouds preset because typical of Scotland in December, it's kind of bucketing down right now. And we want the good weather so we can see what's going on. So today's route, we're going to fly from Islay. We're going to head down to Prestwick on the mainland, and then we're going to, from there after landing and taking off again, we're going to head north up to Glasgow Airport. For this, given the winds and the length of the runway, we're going to go out, taxi down runway 26 to runway 31, backtrack down 31, and we'll be taking off on runway 31, where we're going to do a, let's see which way we're going to do. We're going to do a right-hand turn out over the island, where they're going to head down, crossing a couple more islands as we head to the Scottish mainland down at Prestwick. And I did fly into Prestwick once. I think I was 18 years old. Only time I've been into Prestwick. That one time. Piece of cake, Nick. Piece of cake. Alright, so let's get the aircraft up and going. Let's get ourselves in. First thing we're going to do is remove the stick. We have our own. We don't need that one. So we're going to turn on the generators and the battery masters. There we go. And open up the starter cover. We're going to come over here. We're going to turn on the magnetos for both engines. Cowl flaps are open. Fuel is good. Come over here and turn the fuel up. There we go. Fuel is, we got enough fuel. You can hear the gyros winding up. We're going to set our barrel to 2992. That is now set. And I think we are good to start the engine. So engine number 1, we're going to start first, the left engine. So mixture is going to come up to fully rich. Propeller is going to go fully forward, and we're going to crack the throttle about a 1/4 inch. We're going to come over here, we're going to put the nav lights to steady, seat belt and beacon light can go on, and we're going to prime the engine. So over to the left side, and we're going to give it 5 shots of prime, 4 and 5, and we will lock the primer. Brakes are set. Tail wheel is unlocked, which is what we want. Cowl flaps are open. Starter to the left engine, and here we go. Alright, we got a good start. Looks like there's just a little puff of smoke coming off of Nick there. Not sure what's going on. But we are up and running on engine number 1. We're going to advance the throttle till we get 1,000 RPM. That is good for allowing the engine to warm up. Kevin's starting up his other engine there. Alright, we'll come down and start engine number 2. So once again, mixture is going fully forward, propeller is going fully forward, throttle is being cracked a 1/4 inch. We will turn the dial over and give her 5 shots of prime for that side. And locking the primer. We'll bring the starter over and cranking engine too. Let's try this again. Come on. This is sometimes an issue with this model. It's a Coronado aircraft. Alright, come on. Get her going. Oh, hitting the wrong button. Helps to hit the right one. Kept kicking on the boost button. You'd actually have to hold those both down in real life. Alright, so let's get the engines both up to 1,000 RPM. And we will turn on the avionics. I'm going to turn the lights up just to give us a little bit of backlighting, as it is a little dim out. Right, you be nice over there in your big twin. Alright, so GPS is coming online. We're going to turn our transponder onto standby. And we're going to plug in the route. She warms up. Yeah, we're okay there. Searching for the signals. She starts pulling in the satellites. There we go. And here we are. So, our route for today is taking us from Echo Golf, Papa India, which is the island of Islay. There we go. We're heading to Echo Golf, Papa Kilo, which is Prestwick Airport, and from there we are heading to Echo Golf Papa Foxtrot, which is Glasgow International Airport, and there is our route. We will enter that. So that you can see where we're headed across these islands here into Prestwick, and we'll take off from there, fly up over Glasgow and into Glasgow Airport itself. Nav, and there we go. Alright, engines are warmed up. Looks like everybody's up and running. So we'll close that. Starter can go off. Pitot heat is off. I'm going to turn the lights on. The lights will go to flashing and they'll stay on. Everything there is good. Close the window. And we are ready to taxi. I'm going to release the brakes. Forgot I decoupled the brakes in this one because of, interesting. Did it? Oh, that's interesting. It could be. I'm not sure why it wouldn't put you in the airplane heaven one. Maybe it's that thing where I've got to be in it as well. Alright, so we're going to taxi down here. And we're headed down to the other runway, where we're going to backtrack down to the end of 3-1. Nice wind. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Alright, so we're going to make a bit of a turn here. We need the space here for these aircraft, especially Kevin and the DC-3. The winds are only a couple knots out of the west, so we're not bad. So we'll come down, we'll spin around, we'll go to the right-hand side up on the piano keys and give everyone else room to come down and turn around behind me. Alright, we'll get it turned around. You guys can taxi down if you want. I'm going to finish my setup here. I'll just take my position here on this side. Alright, so here we are. Let's set the parking brake. So we are going to set our trim to half up. No flaps for takeoff. Propellers fully forward, mixtures fully rich. We're going to go to about 30 inches of manifold pressure for takeoff, and that should get us up and going. Jim Mitchell, thanks for the sub, greatly appreciated. Alright, and as you can see, our first stop is about 57 miles away. So we're going to want to be tracking on that 150. So we're going to dial our heading around to about 150, just as a rough guide. There we go. That is now all set up. I think the other guys are here. And we are good to go. Alright, so manual brakes are set. Parking brake is released. Bring the power up to 1,000 RPM on the props. Starting to roll. Easing up the power to about 30 inches and then trying to hold her straight. A little bit of forward pressure, get the tail up. Easy, gentle. Airspeed's coming up. There's 70 knots, 80 knots. Easing the back pressure, and we are up. Gear up. Looking to make sure that tail wheel's locks. We'll leave the cowl flaps open actually for this part. I'm going to turn our heading bug around to north, a little bit of back trim just to keep us climbing, heading out over the water. We're going to go up to about 3,000 feet for today's flight. So autopilot is on, heading mode is on. And we're going to go into pitch mode, keep us climbing. And we're going to bring the power back to 25 inches and the RPM back to 2100 for the climb. And now we're going to start our left-hand turn as we continue to climb as well. And there we can see everybody, Nick and Kevin. Alright, so we are en route. Nah, we'll go up to 2,000 feet. I don't think we need to go all the way up. We're going to head to the airport, now we're going to turn on our track heading of 102 degrees. See the airport there. So over to 102 degrees. We're off. There's 2,000 feet coming up. So altitude hold. And there's the beautiful island of Islay. Again, this is a very famous Scotch country we talked about last time when we flew in here. Final power settings, we're going to come back to about 23 inches of manifold pressure and 1900 RPM. And we're also going to come down here to the fuel flow. We're sitting at 24.5 gallons per hour roughly. We're going to bring that back to 19 gallons per hour. Lean the engines out. Maximize fuel flow. There we go. Or maximize fuel economy. And we have a message. Yep. And we are off. And once again, just a few days after the winter solstice, you can see how low that sun is. Having been over in northern England just before Christmas, I can say it. There's only about 7.5 hours of sunlight. The sun was rising after 8 o'clock and setting before 4. I was spamming the Twitch chat. Haven't had that for a while. So I'm going to pull up Google Maps and just see what the names of these islands are. So the next one we're going up to is actually part of the mainland. And then we're going to cross over Iran. And then into Prestwick. So up ahead of us here, this bit here is actually a long peninsula that comes off the mainland. The lovely colors down below. So it looks like at least one day this weekend, maybe two, we'll be doing a couple of the new A310 series flights. They will probably, whatever day or both days, depending, they'll be running at 1400 Zulu. And I do have a route plan that we're going to hop from airport to airport as we go. So it should make for some good trips. The A310, of course, can go quite far, so it should be interesting. And we will be on VATSIM for that. Hopefully everything goes okay. Alright, there's the edge of the island of Islay. That's where we're headed. Actually, it looks like we're going to catch the southern end of the Isle of Giga, G-I-G-H-A. Then we're going to cross this peninsula here. Everything is looking good. We got about 120 knot airspeed. A little slow for this airplane, but I am conscious of the guys behind us. Should put the transponder on. Not Iran. Aaron. And not the guy named Aaron either. There will be another flight tonight. Again, 2400 hours Zulu. We are flying once again Satan. We are doing the return leg. We'll be flying out of Phoenix, Arizona, heading back to Denver, Colorado. And that stream will start at 1900. As it stands right now, again, ad hoc, but it should be good. See the peninsula in front of us, and then beyond that is the Isle of Arran, A-R-R-A-N. After that, we're going to be flying over the Firth of Clyde River, very famous from the Glasgow area, Clyde Bank, the big shipyards, where a lot of shipping through the late 1800s into the 1900s, then warships for World War I and World War II were built. Kind of the lifeblood of that part of, well, not only Scotland, but the whole of Great Britain. Huge industrial complex. Most of it's gone now. Looks like we got a small airport down here as well, up on the southern tip here. may have to make a slight deviation to the south as we come up on our end. There are some rather large hills slash small mountains. Get rid of that for now. Well, I see one airplane. Oh, they're both out there. I just mixed a little small. Can't see him, but I see the DC-3. There's the airstrip. Little grass strip down there. See that runs up. This river might cut it, but it seems to run all the way up, and then this runs up into the mainland. This is a very rugged coastline here. And then we're going to shoot for the little gap here. Just look at the clouds maybe touching the hills there. We should be okay. Nudge it slightly. We are a little bit off track there, or to the left of the track. So once again, Beech 18, 1930s aircraft. Used as there's always something I forget. There we go. Oh, Nick, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Oh, still got my landing lights on too. There we go. There's Kevin. Just make out Nick's lights flashing. He's up over there. There's Kevin over here. So our Tour of England series will be done in the DC-3. The airplane having DC-3. We've got a nice paint scheme all set up for that. And we'll be crossing back and forth over England, visiting various areas and seeing the country from the air. And once we get into the England tour, that's the last of them for the British Isles. We have the Ireland and Wales tours, which were done as videos. And then we're doing the Scotland tour now. We'll wrap up with the England tour. Fantastic low sun there. Bounced around a little bit in the turbulence. Not too bad as we hit the hills. So 3 types of turbulence you can get. Basically, you have what we call thermal turbulence, where the ground heats up and the hot air above the ground is warmed up and it rises. That's what glider pilots are always looking for, that rising warm air. You have mechanical turbulence, usually found within 3,000 feet of the ground over hills as the airflow moves up and down. That can lift you up and down as well. You get mountain turbulence, which is usually found at higher altitudes around the mountains when you get stronger winds. And that can extend pretty far up. And then the other one, I guess it's turbulence, but it's more of a shearing effect is when you enter in and out of like the jet stream or major air currents. Get that in the airliners a lot. You get as you move from air traveling at different velocities, bounced around as you move in and out of it. It's very rare not to have some sort of turbulence. Well, you can get it sunrise, sunset when everything kind of calms down. You can get some very smooth air for flying. It's when we used to do a lot of our photo shoots, either just after dawn or just before sunset. Not only do you get that golden light, but the air is really calm, so it makes flying close together a little bit easier. So we're crossing the channel now. There's Iran. You can see the beautiful fall colors there. Oh, I think by now this is all actually gone, and in real life should be just dead trees. I went walking up in Wales, and there was a little bit of snow on the ground. It's rather cold. Almost back online there. A few little communities, coastal communities here on the island. I would assume they're fishing communities. Anyway, we're going to be going into Glasgow or Prestwick first. So looking at Prestwick Airport, we're going to basically go in on a left pattern, landing on runway 30, at which point we will get off and backtrack down on taxiway Romeo. Get back on around, what's that? I'm not sure what you call it, Sierra. And we'll be taking off again from there. You can already kind of see the coast now. On the other side of the island, we got the waters there. It's the Firth of Clyde, or the Firth of Clyde. The Forth is a river. See those hills we're flying past. There's Kevin in nice and tight. Back there. I shall leave this on now just so we can see what's coming up if anyone's over there. There might be a few. See us moving up and down. Not a lot of wind, but it's enough that the air mass is adjusting, so we move in the air mass. And we are 22 miles out now. Heading right towards the airport, but I want to be slightly off to the south, so we're going to adjust slightly. Absolutely beautiful here in the rugged western part of Scotland. Airport elevation, 65 feet, so 1,000 feet is going to be our circuit height. And the airport is pretty much right on the coast, so not too much worried about terrain as we head in. So once we come over the island here, we'll slowly start descending down to 1,000 feet. Flights in the DC-3 will be a little bit higher. Probably be going up to 6,000 or 7,000 feet for those. Got some shipping here. Maintaining about 120 knots. Nice windows. These are really good for when you're in turns. You can look out and see what's out there. We actually have one of our two-seat World War I airplane at the museum, which is a huge wingspan. Has clear panels right above the pilot. People are always asking if we put those in, if they're original. I said, oh, they're original. They're it's in a steep bank. The pilot can look up and see where he's banking into. All right. Going to tune in the Dundalk VOR 11545 just to see what's picking it up. Not sure where the display would be for that. I'm assuming it's this one. It's not picking up anything here. Might be lower frequency. So it's a high altitude VOR. And 303 is the runway heading. So we're going to start to head downwards. Get ourselves down to that 1,000 feet. The airport is just in here on the coast. $12 miles to go. You have the NDB 355. Yep, there's the NDB. So we're coming up Prestwick Airport, even though it's technically a Glasgow airport, is actually located just on the northern edge of the town of Ayr. Just 1,000 feet. So we're going to overfly the town and then come in for the landing. Thousand feet altitude hold will bring the engines back up to about 23 inches. And we are back to the mainland. No more islands. Looking for the airport. It's out over here somewhere. ILS frequency of 110.3. Let's try that. 110.3. Turn that in. Hi, Dark. No. I know it popped up on Discord. Maybe not on YouTube. Unfortunate. But how you doing? There's the town of Ayr coming up, and the airport is just over here somewhere. Hope you're well. Okay, again, we're gonna fly inland a bit. We'll make our turn up and get rid of that. Make our turn up, and we're doing basically a left-hand pattern as we come in. There's Kevin and Nick coming in behind us. The airport's over here. And up ahead we have the town of Ayr. Yeah, not doing too bad, Dark. Not doing too bad. Alright, there's the ILS and the glide slope working. Have not tried doing an ILS landing in this thing. Here's the airport. No, Nick's flying the Beech 18 as well. So we're on the downwind here, and there is the beautiful town of Ayr. We're 2 miles out. There's the other runway. We want the runway 30, which is on the north side here. So we're going to go out and then come around, and then we'll come in for the landing. Imagine doing a ILS approach in this thing on VATSIM. That'd be interesting. A little bit bumpy. We are going to have some terrain coming up, although it's a little bit further out. There's a glider club out here as well. It's marked on the charts. Basically going to go out here to this town here, which is Colton. Got a big sneeze there. We'll start making our turns here at Colton as we get ourselves lined up for the landing. So here's the town. Mixture is going fully rich. Both engines, propellers fully forward. And autopilot is disconnected. Get this to 303. This is my indicator. Start making our turn. There we go. Start bringing the speed back to about 100 knots. That altitude at 1,000 feet or so. Won't have to descend too quickly. It's going to make a nice big 180-degree turn here. Speed starting to come back. There's the coast. And there's the airport. Runway's in sight. Speed's 100, 1,000 feet. Kind of go through the center line, so we'll just bring her back. Winds are about 270 at 2 or 3 knots, so it shouldn't be too bad. Power back. And we're in the white band, so first notch of flaps coming out. We're going to bring the speed down to about 80 knots. Just watching the pappies, although it is more or less just a visual approach. Knots, slowly ease the power, trimming it up. Trying to get her down to 80 knots. gear down. Second notch of flaps. Full flaps are set. Can't really go too much by this. It is set up for airliners. We are looking good. Keep that 80 knots. That's some power. Make sure we're not descending too steeply. Three reds, one white. There we go. So we want to be about a 400 to 500 foot per minute descent. Stabilized. We're landing. Gear down. Flaps down. Cabin notified. No cautions. Touchdown at about 70. And we will exit to the left. There's 70. Ease the power. Going to wheel landing. Wheels are down, full power back. Pushing forward on the stick. Rudder to control, easing the tail down. Tail is down. Full back on the brakes. And we will exit off here. Unlock the tail wheel. And we are down. I think Nick went by me. There he is. So if I had a third hand, I would have unlocked that tail wheel once we'd slowed down substantially. Would have allowed me to get off a little bit sooner. Okay, so we're going to taxi down here as we come around. We'll open up the cowl flaps. The engines stay cool so they don't overheat. Keep that airflow going. Alright, for here we're heading off to Glasgow International. Hope you enjoyed your stay here at Prestwick. So we got a 737 MAX, a JN4, A320 Neo, 319, 737-700. It's like a Boeing 777-200. Quite the variety of aircraft out today. Alright, so that landing went well. We're going to take off on 30 and then we're going to fly up. We're going to circle over Glasgow, town of, and then we'll be landing on runway 23. These are fairly long runways, so we'll go in here. here at runway 30. Parking brake on. The guys are coming up. So let's get ourselves set up again. Mixture is fully forward. Props are fully forward. Good there. Everything is set. Trim. We're going to set halfway. Flaps are up full. And altimeters are set. Fuel is still good. Let's head out. We'll take our position. So after today, we have two more flights for this tour, and that will wrap up our tour of Scotland. So brake set, tail wheel is locked, fuel is good, cowl flaps are open, lights are on, landing lights are on. I think we are good to go. Everybody's coming out. Oh, we got a PC-21 behind us. Alright, let's get going. So, brakes are released. Engine's coming up. (27, 28 inches). Keeping her centered. Kind of all over the place on this one. There we are. On our way up, gear up. And heading. Landing lights are off. More on the pitch. Again, we're going up to about 2,000 feet. We hit, well, we're over 500 feet now, so we're going to make our turn. Like I said, we're going to head out over the town of Glasgow. So 1,500 feet. It's Glasgow Airport elevation. 26, yeah. 1,500 feet should do it. Give us some nice views down on the towns. Start bringing our rate of climb down. And there we go. Altitude is locked in. Close the cowl flaps. And I'm going to bring the props back to 1900 RPM. Engine will come back to 25 inches. And mixture will come down to between 18 and 19 gallons per hour. And pitot heat on as well. All right. And we are up. Here's the town of Kilmarnock. Over here. Of course, we got the Firth of Clyde. So, Bramley, are you flying with us? If you are and you're in the chat, say hi. Nick, are you up? I don't see you back there in the massive... Oh, there you are. You're up over there. Well, Bramley might not be flying with us. Can't tell how far away these guys are. He was behind us on the at the airport, though. We're coming up here. The town, way up here is Stewarton. We're actually gonna adjust a little bit more over to a 030 heading because I do want to fly over Glasgow itself before we come in for landing. Again, circuit altitude for that will be 1,000 feet again. It's all coming back to you? Yeah, this was a interesting one to get used to. I still got the Boeing 247D airliner I got to use in a series somewhere. I'll work that into something at some point. Iron Fist Mark 50. Interesting call sign. Alright, so we are cruising along here. So let's see if I can find out any information for here. Open charts. Approach charts. So we're going in on runway 23. So for the ILS, it is 110.1. And that's good. There's an NDB of 331. Dial that in as well. And I could do. I don't have a VOR too. Oh, we're picking up the ILS. Let's put. See if we can listen to the ADF. Are we getting it? Oh, there it is. That's my volume here. It seems to be turned all the way up. I don't know if you're picking it up. I can hear the Morse code on it. I'm going to turn on nav 1 as well. Oh, hang on. Maybe if I go on this one. Well, let me do the speaker, the headphone side. I'll tune on the ADF. The markers are supposed to be on as well. Let's see what happens. So once we come over this ridge line here, there's Glasgow laid out in front of us. Very nice, very busy around here. And we're at 1,500 feet, so we got a little bit of a ridge line, and then we drop over to the open area here. And the airport's off over in this direction. I do like the little effect that you get from the glass here with the cutout for the handle. How it distorts the view. That's pretty cool. I don't know how many frames that's sucking up, but that's pretty cool. Alright, I'm gonna head over towards the central part. Do a nice flyover of downtown Glasgow. The airport's over there. See some of it's the Clyde River, Clyde Bank. That's where the shipbuilding was. You can see the facilities and everything there. Never been to Glasgow. Hopefully I'll get there maybe this spring when I gotta go back to Scotland again. We'll see. This little community here is called Newton Means, and then just beyond that is Clarkston. Kentucky Side Village off in the distance. Cam Bunslang. Some interesting names. There's the airport. That's a good question. I don't know if it would work with. I guess you could set up a profile for it. I know we tried GSX with the DC6s and it was a complete disaster without setting something up for it. Well, coming into downtown. The airport's on the south side of the Clyde. So what is it? The Glasgow Rangers, isn't it? I think this is the train station. Maybe, maybe not. This looks like a football stadium. Very much looks like a football stadium. Fly over and I'll practice pitch outside main stadium. There's the Clyde River cutting the town in half. Oh, there's the train station over there. It's like a little church or a castle or something. Some arches or bridges. Not too bad. I do recognize. Oh, there's Celtics or Celtic, however you pronounce it. Probably Celtic. Do they have two teams? Or different divisions, maybe? Alright, let's head kind of northwards. Very cool. Oh, this is Glasgow, folks. Celtic. Yeah, I could see that if you had two pro leagues in the same town. I think these are those old gas. I can't remember what they call them, but they used to fill up with gas from the natural gas and everything. All right, so 230. Let's get ourselves over to here for the downward, for the base turn. Start getting ourselves set up for our arrival into Glasgow. We've got a couple jets chasing each other there. They've scrambled. Well, it does not look like an F-18. I think I had that with Shark Kitty. Showed up in an F-18. It was like an airliner. All right, so propellers fully forward, mixture fully forward. There's our localizer and glide slope we're in. Let's just turn a little bit more so we're right on a 90 to it. There we go. And the airport's over on the south side there. Nope, we just got buzzed. Making our turn inbound. Start descending. Keep her drifting a little bit to the right. Watch for the localizer to come in. Back on the power. Get her down to 1,000 feet. Bring that power right back. Start slowing up. There's 1,000 feet. It's a glide slope coming in. See what the how it does. Well, it's not doing anything really. We're way offline, so autopilot's off. First notch of flaps, gear coming down. Second notch of flaps. full flaps. Let's get on easy J. Let's start rolling there, buddy. Coming in. So gear down 3 green, mixtures fully forward, props fully forward, flaps fully extended. He's just going to sit there. Down. And tails down. Keeping her straight as much as we can. Alright, we got an exit here. Coming up, we're going to take. And we'll head down to the apron. Flaps up. Cowl flaps open. And we're going to head over to the GA apron. Just go across the front of the domestic terminal here. That's the international terminal over there. Domestic airlines fly into here. Hearing lots of jets. The other side of this building here. And this is where we should be starting from next week. We head off on our penultimate leg on the tour of Scotland. Right, just gonna bring her in here. tail. A little bit of power on the outer engine. Get her around. There we go. So brakes are set. Tail wheel is unlocked, cowl flaps are open, fuel is good on both. We're going to bring the engines up to 1000 RPM. So let them run for about 30 seconds. As I've mentioned, does a couple things. Pulls the oil out of the bottom of the round engine, spreads it around, make sure there's complete lubrication throughout the engine. And it also helps the engine cool down and prevent thermal shock, especially with some of the differential metals that are in the engine. Shut the avionics and lights off. And we're going to shut them down. So, shutting down the right engine. Shutting down the left engine. Put the lights over to steady, landing lights are retracted, pitot heat can come off, seatbelt signs can come off, beacon light can come off. Bags on both engines are off. Master switches are all off. And yeah, window's closed. Well, here we are, guys. Thanks for flying. And we will see you all on the next one. I'll be flying again, like I said, tonight about 2400 Zulu, 1900 hours local time for me. And we'll be doing the return flight Phoenix to Denver with Satan. See you then. Bye for now.